the preterists bend the whole Revelation to fit their scheme. But read that opening chapter, that introductory chapter to the Revelation, and you'll find no such thing there. No such thing being expressed. So, of course, since it's not expressed, well, they have to somehow make it express it through their interpretation. And really, the only evidence that the preterists have is their interpretation of it. But interpretation to uphold your thesis is not evidence. Evidence would be if you found one of the early church fathers who wrote something down between 65 and 95 AD, and there was plenty that was written down, quoting all of the other, well, most of the other books. I couldn't say all because I don't know that. But most of them all, they were all quoted already. All of the other books, of the New Testament, were all written, I believe, before 70 AD, because that's how the gospel was spread. And Paul, of course, wrote his letters, being finally, before 70 AD, killed at Rome. And not only him, but many of the other apostles' lives ended before 70 AD. I believe most of them. I guess I would have to research that. But John lived until the 2nd century. And even the preterists admit that. Because in their attempt to overthrow the testimony of Irenaeus, who is our strongest and earliest, who places the writing of the Revelation about 95 AD, in their attempt to overthrow it, they say, oh no, it wasn't the Revelation that was seen toward the end of Domitian's reign, because that's the record, but it was John who was seen toward the end of the reign of Domitian. And I say, well, that's very good. That doesn't help your case, but even if only John was seen, John was seen. And if John was seen toward the end of Domitian's reign, then he could just as well have written the book then, and likely did, since there is no evidence to the contrary even existing from the 1st century. But this is what happens when you take liberality with interpreting the scripture.